So you've just watched the video on factorising. Hopefully that made some sense, and what you can do now is have a go at these questions on factorising as well. So what you want to do is you want to pause this video and have a go at the questions, and then you can follow through with my solutions afterwards. Okay, so hopefully you've had a pause and you've had a decent go, and let's see if you managed to get it right. So first one, factorise fully. So we've got 6y squared add 12y. So the first thing we do is look for the biggest number that goes into both. So 1 goes into everything, it's not too useful. 2 goes into them both, 3 goes into them both, and 6 goes into them both. So the biggest number that goes into both is 6. Are there any letters in both parts? Well, I've got a y squared and I've got a y, so I've got y times y here, I've got y there. So in both parts, I've got a single y, so that can come out as well. 6 times what is 6? Well, that's just 1, so that stays exactly as it is. What do I need to times y by to get to y squared? Well, that's going to be y. If you want to put a 1y in there like that, then you can, but it doesn't really matter, you don't have to. So 6y times y will give me 6y squared. Add, so plus sign in there. 6 times what gives me 12? Well, that's 2. I've got a y on the outside, I've got y there, so I don't need to add any extra letters, and I should get 6y brackets y plus 2. Now, you'll see here it says factorise fully, and it's actually worth 2 marks. The reason for that is you need to have the biggest factor coming out. So if you had used a 3 or a 2, then you're likely to pick up one of the 2 marks, but you need to use the 6 to grab both marks. Part B, factorise 5x minus 10, quite a straightforward one here. So the biggest number goes into both, we ignore 1, 5 goes into both, and that's it. So 5 on the outside, no letters in both parts. 5 times what is 5x? Well, that's got to be x, minus sign here, so minus sign here. 5 times what is 10? That's 2, so that goes in the brackets there. And finally, factorise fully 2p squared minus 4pq. Now this, you can see, has got the fully part again, so we've got to get the biggest factor out. So 1 goes into everything, but 2 goes into both, and that's it. So 2 is the biggest number that goes into both. Any letters? Well, let's have a look. We've got p squared, so we've got p times p, and we've got pq, so we've got p times q. So we can see that in both, we've got a p, so we can take a 2p out the brackets. Now we've looked at the letters and the numbers. What do I times 2 by to get to 2? Well, that's 1, so that stays exactly as it is. P times what gives you p squared? So we've got 1p, or just p, depending on how you want to do it. I tend to just write it as p. So I'm going to leave it like that. Minus sign here, so minus sign here. 2 times what gives you 4? Well, that's 2. P times what gives you pq? Well, we've already used the p, so we've got a q left over. We've got our answer there, 2p brackets, p minus 2q.